Today, we're diving into a short but really powerful story about finding hope in what feels like impossible situations. It's a story about what happens when just one person refuses to give up, even when pretty much everyone else already has. So let's start with the big idea, the heart of the whole story, which is captured perfectly in this quote. This is what we're going to unpack. This idea that belief can actually flourish in the exact spots where everyone else just sees barren, empty ground. First things first, we need to understand the world of this story. So, Section 1, A World Given Up, is all about setting a scene that is just completely drained of any kind of optimism. I want you to just picture this for a second. The sun is beaten down on miles and miles of just cracked, lifeless ground. Every single plant in this village is long dead. The earth itself looks totally defeated. You know, this isn't just a dry spell. This feels like the end of everything.
But what's really important here is that the problem isn't just the physical environment, it's the emotional one. The story calls it a silent kind of hopelessness. This is a despair so deep, so absolute, that people don't even bother talking about it anymore. It's just this heavy, unspoken reality that's hanging over everyone.
And into this completely bleak world steps our main character. This brings us right to Section 2, The Last Seed, where we see one single person perform an act of defiance against all that despair.
So what does our hero have to fight this overwhelming hopelessness? Well, it all comes down to this number, 1. He's holding a single solitary seed. That's it. It is literally the last one he has. That's his entire arsenal against a world that's already dead.
And what happens when he decides to plant this one single seed? He's met with immediate, harsh cynicism. His neighbors, who've already given up, they look at him and they say it plainly, "You're wasting your time." They don't see his action as hopeful, they see it as completely foolish. And this slide just breaks down that central conflict perfectly. On one side, you have the man's action. He plants the seed like a prayer. It's this quiet, personal, stubborn act of faith. And on the other side, you have the world's reaction. They're calling him crazy, and their words are just a loud broadcast of their own hopelessness.
So this brings us to Section 3, the trial of silence. See, planting the seed, that was the easy part. Now comes the really hard part, the true test, the long, agonizing wait that puts his faith on trial. Think about how grueling this wheat must have been. After day 1, nothing. Just dust. A full week goes by. The ground is still cracked and silent. By week 2, all he feels is disappointment. It gets so bad that one morning he almost decides to stop looking altogether. It really looks like his neighbors were right all along.
But right at that moment, when he's about to give up, the entire story just pivots. This is the climax, Section 4, the green miracle. This is the moment when hope physically breaks through the surface. So after weeks of waiting, after all the doubt from his neighbors, after staring at nothing but empty, cracked earth, this is the question just hanging in the air. Was his faith misplaced? Was this whole thing just a giant waste of time? And then, the answer comes. But it's not a storm, it's not a downpour of rain. It's this, a tiny green sprout, pushing its way right through that hard dirt. It's a miracle that nobody even asked for. The impossible just happened.
So here's the crucial point, the man's big realization. He starts to laugh not because the drought was over, but because he realized that hope had survived longer than fear. The real victory wasn't over the environment, it was over his own internal doubt. The battle was won inside of him first.
So why does this simple story resonate so deeply with us? Well, our final section here unpacks that universal lesson, where faith grows. This story gives us a really powerful new way to think about hope. It's not just some passive feeling or a wish. Hope is framed here as proof. It's the tangible, visible evidence that an act of faith can create life in a place the world had already written off as dead. And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway. That one little green sprout was never really just about a plant. It was a symbol, a powerful, living symbol that one person's belief, one stubborn act of faith, can actually create life from what looks like nothing at all.
And so, we'll end with a question for you to think about. Thinking about this story, about this impossible growth, what's the last seed in your own life? What's that one small act of faith you need to take, that one thing you need to plant, even if the world around you is screaming that it's completely and utterly hopeless?